Hey, Eric here. Before we jump into this tutorial, I just wanted to give you a quick preface about it. This demonstration turned into something a little more than I originally intended it to be. Yes, it is a demonstration of the Start with Your Own Idea option within AI Children's Bookmaker 2500, but it is also a complete walkthrough from start to finish of me creating this book right here. Pierre and Sammy's Stormy Surprise. Now, this was a book based on my own idea, and I was very particular about some of the aspects and details of it, which is why this tutorial ended up becoming longer and becoming really a multifaceted demonstration throughout the process. And so you will see me go through the entire process of refining this idea, creating the actual manuscript, the book, rewriting portions of it, and then probably the bulk of this video contains the detailed process that I used to illustrate this book with our AI tool. If I were to do anything differently than what I did in this particular demonstration, it would actually probably just be to use our upgraded illustration tools. I intentionally did not do that in this project, in this demonstration, because I wanted to really make a point and show you what our basic illustration tool can do. In fact, there are 5 recurring characters in this book. We've got Pierre and Sammy, of course. So that's Pierre. Sammy is his tabby cat. We also have a sea turtle that occurs throughout the book. And then we have Marco, who is another character, as well as Luna, another character. So 5 recurring characters. And so we really had to kind of put our tools through the rigors. We had to really be creative at times and do some trial and error to get exactly what I wanted to get. And again, in this video, you'll see me go through the entire process of creating this book, formatting it, and then actually publishing it on Amazon, having it live on Amazon in a matter of days, and then having the printed copy in my hand in a matter of days. This book cost me $4.20 for a beautiful, full-color, high-quality children's book created from scratch with my own ideas. So enjoy this tutorial. I'm calling it a masterclass because really, this video is a masterclass in how to use our tool to create a custom storybook based on your own idea and your own ideas for the illustrations. In this demonstration, we will take a look at how to create a book if you already have an idea that you want to start with. When you log in, you'll have a couple of options here. You can either click the button where it says Start with My Idea, or you can choose the Pick a Tool option. The Pick a Tool option essentially gives you a menu of all the various tools within our platform. Kind of an advanced option in a way. It allows you to sort of skip around and only use the tools that you want to use, whereas the Start with My Idea button will take you through the guided process of creating your book. So in this particular demonstration, we're going to go that route. All right, so I'm going to click Start with My Idea. Now from here, you have once again 2 options. You can either use our chatbot or the outliner. The chatbot is essentially an AI chatbot that will take you through discussing your idea to refine it and turn it into an actual book idea that can then be outlined and turned into an actual story. The outliner would take your basic idea and suggest 10 unique book concepts that you can then choose from. And of course, you could then, if you didn't like any of those 10, you could rerun it. By all means, you could try both. You could try the chatbot and the outliner and see which one you like better to come up with the best refined idea for your book. Let's start with the chatbot. And as a quick reminder, we do have demonstrations of what to do if you don't have any idea whatsoever. Those would have been the other 2 options when you log in. You would either have chosen the quick book generator or the step-by-step book generator. So if you don't have an idea, go back and choose one of those 2 options. For this particular demonstration, I have an idea. In fact, it's an idea that I've had sort of rolling around in the back of my head for many years. Many years ago, my wife and I went on vacation to an island and stayed at a place that was run by a French chef named Pierre. And so here's my description of the book idea. A French chef named Pierre has a small restaurant on a Caribbean island with white sand and turquoise water. He has several small guest cottages along the beach that he rents to vacationers. Pierre is around 60 years old, very friendly. He cooks amazing, delicious, colorful meals for his guests. Many cats live on the property. He has a special orange tabby cat named Sammy who hangs out with Pierre all the time. Pierre and Sammy have interesting adventures and uncover mysteries on the island. Now, you wouldn't have to go that in depth on your first chat with this chatbot. I could have had just this very first sentence would have been all I needed to type, and then we could let the AI go to work beginning to expand this idea. But it just so happens that I have a little more of an in-depth idea already. And because of the fact that we've already done a couple of demonstrations where we let the AI do all the creative work, I did an example on the QuickBook generator. I let the AI completely come up with it from scratch. And then again on the step-by-step generator, I let the AI come up with everything from scratch. I know that many of you have your own ideas and you want to use those ideas to create books. And so this one, I'm going to be more specific and try to infuse this project with more of my own ideas and creativity. So here's what we've got. And by the way, this first part is all true. He does have a place. He does cook for his guests. There are many cats that live on the property. And then here's where it sort of breaks into fiction, right? The special orange tabby cat named Sammy. I just made that up. That's based on a cat that we have named Sammy. And then, I just thought it would be a cool idea to have this guy Pierre and his cat have interesting adventures. So this is turning into fiction. I'm not going to use his real last name or anything. I'm not even going to name the island. And so although it is inspired by a person, it is not going to be based on that real person. I probably could have gone that route. I could base it on him and, he would probably like the free publicity maybe of having a children's book about him. But it's not going to be that realistic. It's going to be a work of fiction that was simply inspired by somebody that I once met. That's all it is. So let's go ahead and begin this chat. And the chatbot says, that sounds like a wonderful and engaging story. Now, could you let me know the target age range for your book? Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. I'm thinking a picture book, maybe ages 3 through 7. Picture book, age 3 through 7. Great choice. A picture book for ages 3 through 7 will allow for rich illustrations and engaging storytelling. Now, can you share a brief description of the specific adventures or mysteries that Pierre and Sammy uncover on the island? This will help me refine the description. I'm going to say I'm not sure. Now, if I really wanted to take some time on this, I could, but this is the part that I'm not sure about. This is why I haven't written this book in all the years since it was actually my wife's idea. We were, I think having breakfast out on the patio one day on this vacation, and all these cats were kind of just hanging out, playing around. And she said something like, this would make a good children's book someday. This was before AI was even a thing. That was kind of the extent of it. I was like, yeah, it would be. And we were like, well, yeah, maybe we'll create a children's book about this when we're older, when we're old and retired and have time on our hands. I bet a lot of people have that kind of experience throughout life. They've got these little ideas and it's never happened. And here, all of a sudden, we have the opportunity to turn those ideas into reality. So I'm going to say I'm not sure about the specific adventures. Maybe you can suggest some. They should be related to the Caribbean and appropriate for kids. Absolutely. Here are a few adventures for Pierre and Sammy. They could discover a hidden treasure map washed ashore after a storm. Yeah, that's a good one. They could help a lost sea turtle find its way back to the ocean. I like that. That also seems very kind of realistic, and I would maybe even combine those ideas. The sea turtle got washed ashore after the storm and needed help getting back to the ocean, because that could totally happen. Or they might encounter a colorful parade of local animals, each with their own unique talents. Yeah, always, diversity messages are always good. So let's say, how about the sea turtle got washed ashore during the storm and needs help getting back into the ocean? That sounds like a fantastic adventure. Here's how it all comes together. Ages 3 to 7. Type of book, picture book, description. Pierre, the friendly French chef, and his adventurous orange tabby cat Sammy are enjoying a sunny day on the beautiful Caribbean island when a storm brews unexpectedly. After the storm, they discover a lost sea turtle washed ashore, struggling to return to the ocean. Together, Pierre and Sammy embark on a heartwarming journey to help the sea turtle find its way home. Along the way, they meet other island creatures who offer assistance and learn about teamwork, compassion, and the importance of caring for marine life. Children would learn about the significance of ocean conservation and the value of helping others. This book would be a great choice for young readers as it combines adventure with valuable life lessons in a vibrant and engaging setting. I like that. The only thing I'm thinking about right now is like, do I want to have talking animal characters in this? I'm not so sure. Maybe rather than meeting other island creatures, maybe it would be other island people that would be the helpers. I'm pushing back on this intentionally for the sake of this demonstration. For one, because I actually do want to further refine this, but also to show you that you can refine it and you can keep on refining it until you're really satisfied with the concept. So I'm going to say, I like that. One change. I don't want any talking animals, so how about Pierre and Sammy get the help of some other island human residents who have unique talents or resources that they can lend to the mission? That sounds wonderful. Here's the updated description. Description: Pierre, the friendly French chef, and his adventurous orange tabby cat, Sammy, are enjoying a sunny day on the beautiful Caribbean island when a storm brews unexpectedly. After the storm, they discover a lost sea turtle washed ashore, struggling to return to the ocean. Together, Pierre and Sammy enlist the help of other island residents, each with their own unique talents, to assist in their mission. From a local fisherman with a sturdy boat to a kind artist who creates a vibrant mural to celebrate the sea turtle's journey, they all come together to ensure the turtle finds its way back home. I like that, except for I don't know that a mural would need to be created as a part of this story. It'd be kind of cool, though. I can always tweak that as the story comes together. So maybe the mural gets created after the turtle is released, and maybe the mural is created right there at Pierre's restaurant. That would be cool. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. So what I'm going to do is copy this text by clicking the little icon in the right top corner of that message. And then I'm going to paste it into a notepad document on my computer. And I'll just kind of keep content here in this notepad document as we go throughout this process. Next, I'm going to click on the title generator because I don't have a title in mind for this yet. So let's go ahead and see what the AI can come up with for us. And before I do that, I'm going to jump back to the beginning of this process because I said I was going to show you the other option. So if we click Start with My Idea, the other option was the outliner that suggests 10 concepts. So let's see what it would have done if I had gone with the outliner. So I'm going to paste the exact same original idea that I gave to the chatbot, but this time I'm going to use it with our outliner tool. And you can see here it gave us 10 book ideas. For example, Pierre decides to host a cooking class for his young guests. One day they discover a hidden treasure map. They find a sad little kitten. Sammy goes missing. They decide to start a garden to grow fresh ingredients. They receive a mysterious letter. A rumor spreads about a ghost cat. There's lots of great ideas here. And, what's cool about this is that it would definitely lend itself well to an entire book series. And, if you're in this for money, right, if you're in this to try to create a successful children's book business, then a series is what you want. So this definitely shows that it's got the potential for a series. I happen to like the concept that we refined using the chat bot. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward with that concept for now. But here at least you can see the difference between those two tools and kind of how they work. So now we're going to go on to the title generator. All right, so here is what I copied to my document here. I'm simply going to copy that and paste it into the box and click the button to generate some title ideas. And you can see we've got unique titles, whimsical titles, adventurous titles, and educational titles. I'm going to take a minute here to kind of scan through these and see what I like. I actually like the very first one, Pierre and Sammy's Stormy Surprise, because that's the turtle that washes in. The Great Turtle Title Rescue. The Quest to Save Shelly the Turtle. Some of these titles don't seem to fit all that well, but they actually seem like they would be good titles for additional books in the series. Out of the ones that it came up with, I think I like that first one the best. Pierre and Sammy's Stormy Surprise. I like that it has some sort of mystery and intrigue in the title, that it's a surprise, but on like a kid level. Yeah, I think that would be good. I'm going to copy that one to my notepad. And then we are going to move on to the title page generator. So the title of the book is going to be Pierre and Sammy's Stormy Surprise. The author is going to be me, and we'll click to generate the title page. Now to save some time, I think I'm going to open up a Word document as well. You could use Google Docs, you could use Pages by Apple, you could use any sort of text editor or publishing tool. I showed Google Docs in one of the other demonstrations. I happen to have Word on my computer right now, so I'm going to go ahead and use Word. So we'll go ahead and copy this and paste it into Word. Now, if I wanted this to be a board book geared towards younger kids, we could click Board Book. If we wanted to do a chapter book, which is part of our upgrade package, by the way, we would click this if you have the upgrade ability to do chapter books. In this case, we're going to do a picture book, so we'll click Picture Book. And now we're going to paste in the title. I'm going to paste in the exact description that we got from the AI. So I'm just going to include this entire part of the description where it says ages 3 to 7, type of book, picture book, and then description. Let's see, writing tone. I think I'm going to go with curious. No, I think I'm going to make my own tone. I think I want to make it sort of a mix. I want to go educational and also playful. Because this is sort of a science-y concept. You know, we've got the sea turtle and things like that. I want them to learn some things, but it's also for young kids, so I want it to be playful. And then for the writing style, I'm going to go with typical children's book. Number of pages. For the other demonstrations, I think I stuck to around 12 pages each. Let's go with something a little longer for this one. Let's go for like 20 pages. It's going to make this whole demonstration take longer. It's going to be more challenging to come up with all of the illustrations. But again, I want to take you through a real life scenario of creating a book the way that you might want to if you happen to be serious about a particular idea or topic and want to do something a little longer. I mean, we could go longer than 20, but I feel like 20 is probably going to be a fairly appropriate length for this story. So let's go ahead and click to generate the story. All right, let's see what we've got here. I'm going to take my time and read through this entire thing. Again, with my other demonstrations, I kind of just breezed through them because I was cool with letting the AI just do its thing. But this one, I'm going to be more particular about the story. Maybe we'll even rewrite some portions of it. And in fact, I'm going to copy this first. I'm going to copy it into my document. Paste it into my Word document here. And now I'm going to kind of read through it and see, there may be some things I'll just change on my own, or there may be some things that I have the AI rewrite. On a sunny day on a beautiful Caribbean island, Pierre, the friendly French chef, was cooking a delicious lunch. His adventurous orange tabby cat, Sammy, was napping in the warm sun. That's a great first page. I can't think of any way to make that much better. Page 2. Pierre wore his big white chef's hat and a bright red apron. He hummed a happy tune as he stirred a pot of spicy island stew. Okay, so far we'll see how this goes. I like that. Suddenly Sammy's ears perked up. I like that too. He looked at the sky and saw dark clouds rolling in. Meow, Sammy warned Pierre. See, I like that because I had said I didn't want talking animals. It seems that it picked that up. Page 4, Pierre looked up and saw the clouds too. Oh la la! A storm is coming, he said. I like that. It's kind of, you can just imagine a French chef. Quickly, they packed up everything and hurried inside. The only thing I wonder about that is, were they outside? I guess he's got an outdoor kitchen, right? So I'm thinking about logistics here and the illustrations. What's going to make the most sense? So I could either change this to make sure it's an outdoor kitchen, or I could change this and do something other than they packed up everything and hurried inside. I kind of like the concept of an outdoor kitchen. So I'll say he hummed a happy tune as he stirred a pot of spicy island stew in his outdoor kitchen. That's all I had to do is add 1, 2, 3, 4 words, and it all makes sense. Page 5, the wind howled and the rain poured. This is going to be a cool illustration. Pierre and Sammy watched the storm from their cozy kitchen window. I hope everyone is safe, Pierre said. Oh, but now they've got the indoor kitchen, so maybe say from their cozy bedroom window, cozy living room window, maybe? Let's just say cozy living room window. I hope everyone is safe, Pierre said. That's a good thing to say. When the storm finally passed, Pierre and Sammy ventured outside. The sun peeked out from behind the clouds and the island was filled with fresh, rain-washed colors. Love it. As they walked along the beach, Sammy noticed something moving in the sand. It was a small sea turtle struggling to return to the ocean. So, this is an interesting one because I think we need a big sea turtle. Because a small one, and if it's in the sand, it's going to be able to find its way back pretty easily. But we need it sort of like washed further inland. And I think we need it to be big so that it necessitates help, right? Because the way so let's see what the AI wrote. The waves were still too strong for the little turtle. They needed more help. Let's gather our friends. First, they visited Marco, the local fisherman. We need your help with the boat. Okay, that makes sense, but it doesn't make sense so much for like a tiny little turtle. This needs to be a big turtle. Next, they went to Luna, the kind artist. Can you paint a vibrant mural to celebrate the turtle's journey? See, that needs to happen after the turtle is released. I'm going to basically have the AI try to rewrite the second half of this story. I'm going to delete these parts to say end of each page. I don't think that's necessary. Sometimes the AI does that, sometimes it doesn't. And maybe I'm going to copy the entire story to make sure the AI has enough context to work with. Now we're going to go back to the rewrite tool. And so content type is going to be, I'm going to say entire board book. So I'm going to go ahead and paste my entire thing. And then change type. Actually, it's none of these. What I want to change is okay, so once you've put in your changes, go ahead and click Submit. Let's see what it did. First of all, I'm curious to see if it changed the first 7 pages. I think it did the right thing. It kept the first 6 pages as is, just as I wanted. And page 7, as they explored the island, Sammy noticed something large moving inland. It was an adult sea turtle, far from the ocean and struggling on the sandy path. Okay, so it did it. Oh, poor turtle. We must help it get back to the sea. Sammy meowed in agreement, but they realized the turtle was too heavy for them to move alone. We need more help, Pierre decided. Let's gather our friends. First, they visited Marco, the local fisherman. Marco had a sturdy boat. We need your help to take the turtle back to the sea, Pierre explained. Of course, Marco said with a smile. He packed his boat with fishing nets and joined Pierre and Sammy on their mission. Next, they went to Luna, the kind artist. Come with us, Luna. We could use an extra pair of hands, Pierre said. Luna nodded eagerly. I'll bring my pants too, just in case my paints. I'll bring my paints too, just in case inspiration strikes, she said, and joined the team. With everyone ready, they headed to the inland path where the turtle waited. Marco and Pierre carefully lifted the turtle into a cart while Sammy and Luna walked alongside. They brought the turtle to Marco's boat. It was tricky, but with teamwork, they managed to get the turtle on board safely. As Marco rowed the boat toward the calm waters, the turtle remained still, feeling the soft breeze and promise of home. Finally, they reached gentle waves. The turtle slowly slid back into the water, its flippers moving gracefully. It swam joyfully, free at last. Pierre, Sammy, Marco, and Luna waved goodbye to the turtle. Bon voyage, dear friend, Pierre called out. I like it. Back on the shore, Luna felt inspired. She had an idea for a mural that would celebrate their adventure and the turtle's return to the sea. Later, Pierre commissioned Luna to paint the mural on the wall of his restaurant. It became a colorful tribute to teamwork and stormy surprise. That's pretty good. There's just a couple of sticky spots that I want to fix. I do like this. I like the concept. I like the teamwork. I like that there's a couple of characters, but not too many, because the more characters that you have that have to be consistent, that occur throughout a story, that it's just going to add more complications to your illustration process. As you've maybe have seen from some of the other demonstration videos so far, I mean, the illustration tools have come a long way. They're amazing. We can do recurring characters, but to try to put 4 of them into one scene is going to be challenging. And so I might have to only do a couple of them at a time and things like that. Well, you're going to see what I do throughout this process. All that just to say, I think this is a good amount of characters for this book. You know, sometimes the AI takes your advice too seriously, like the word inland. That having been said, it's not a bad word for a kid's book. I mean, inland is not a word that most kids are going to be familiar with, but the rest of the book is very easy to understand. I wasn't sure about packing his boat with fishing nets. What was the need for the fishing nets? Were they going to tow the turtle with the nets? It doesn't look like it because they somehow got the turtle on board. Although a hefty sea turtle could be, well over 100 pounds. So towing it with some rope, perhaps, might not be a bad option. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these pages, starting with page 7, and replace them in the Word document. And then I'm going to make a couple of my own tweaks, and maybe we'll have the AI rewrite a little more too. Let me see. I'm going to change, he packed his boat with fishing nets, to he packed his boat with extra ropes and joined Pierre and Sammy on their mission. Next, they went to Luna, the kind artist. Come with us, Luna. We could use an extra pair of hands. Luna nodded eagerly. I'll bring my paints, too, just in case inspiration strikes, she said, and joined the team. Paints is a little, even though she's going to be painting a mural, I'm going to change paints to sketchbook because that's more realistic. She's not going to grab her paints for this particular mission. She's going to grab her sketchbook. With everyone ready, they headed to the inland path where the turtle waited. Marco and Pierre carefully lifted the turtle into a cart while Sammy and Luna walked alongside. They brought the turtle to Marco's boat. I'm trying to imagine, is this a beach or is it a dock? I'm also thinking at this point, do they actually need to tow the turtle back out to sea? I mean, realistically, if the turtle's not injured, they can probably swim from the shoreline. So let's say they brought the turtle to the dock where Marco's boat was waiting. Waves from the storm were still crashing on the shore, so they decided to help the turtle get to safe and calm water. Page 16, I'm going to keep what it had written. It was tricky, but with teamwork, they managed to create a harness from the ropes and carefully put it around the turtle. As Marco rowed the boat toward the calm waters, the turtle was gently pulled along behind the boat. So let's reread this sentence. As Marco rowed, let's just take out the word the boat. So as Marco rowed toward the calm waters, the turtle was gently pulled alongside the boat. Finally, they reached gentle waves. This will be page 18. They slid the harness off of the turtle and it paddled toward the open ocean. Let's reread this. Finally, they reached gentle waves. They slid the harness off the turtle and it paddled toward the open ocean, its flippers moving gracefully. It swam joyfully, free at last. Page 19. Pierre, Sammy, Marco, and Luna waved goodbye to the turtle. Bon voyage, dear friend, Pierre called out. Back on the shore, Luna felt inspired. She had an idea for a mural that would celebrate their adventure and Turtle's return to the sea. I'm going to tweak that and say, on their way back to the shore, Luna felt inspired. She sketched an idea for a mural that would celebrate their adventure and the Turtle's return to the sea. I'm going to say painting. She sketched an idea for a painting that would celebrate their adventure and the turtle's return to the sea. So that was page 20. This will be page 21. 24 pages would be a pretty standard number, so I think what I want is probably 22 pages, because then I will also have a title page and a copyright page. So let's say later, Pierre had an idea. Later, Pierre had an idea. He asked Luna to paint a mural of the turtle on a wall of his restaurant. So the word mural might be new to some kids, but that's okay. It's good to have a couple of new words, just not too many. And then page 22, this will be perfect. let's see, I'm going to reverse the Stormy Surprise and the teamwork. I'm going to put the Stormy Surprise first. So I just tweaked that to say, now everyone who came to Pierre's restaurant saw the beautiful mural. It was a colorful reminder of the Stormy Surprise and the team effort that saved a sea turtle that day. I think that's great. I'm really happy with this. Sammy doesn't really play much of a role throughout the second half of this story, but I think that's okay. I think as long as Sammy is in the illustrations, kids will love that. Having read hundreds and hundreds of children's books to my kids, they love those ones that have those, not necessarily Easter eggs. Some of them are Easter eggs, but some of them are just like a recurring animal or sort of background character that keeps showing up. A little mouse in each illustration, or I think I've actually seen a cat that shows up in each illustration. And Sammy can kind of be that character. Like, where's Sammy? Even though it's not talking about Sammy, Sammy's in the picture. Sammy's there. And I think that works well for this age group. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. We'll create my copyright page. Author name. The author website, of course, is optional. And click to generate. So I'm going to copy this, and that's going to go into the Word document, actually before the title page. Moving on, we'll generate the back cover. And once again, we can use our summarized generated idea. I also want to add the title to this. So I'm going to say title, Pierre and Sammy's Stormy Surprise, and then I've got the rest of the summary. And then we'll click to generate the back cover text, which is basically just a marketing pitch for parents for them to buy this. You wouldn't have to use this. We'll go ahead and copy that content, and I'm going to paste it in to the end of my Word document. Same thing that you would do regardless of what sort of editor or publisher you're using, if you're using Google Docs or whatever. And on to the next step, which is illustration prompts. For this one, we're going to paste in the entire book. So for my Word document where I've got that book, I've got divided into pages. Now that's the one thing that you need to make sure you have is page numbers so that it will generate the correct number of prompts for you. So here's the book. I'm also going to put the title. So I've got the title, and then I've got all the pages of the book, each along with their respective page numbers, and I'm going to click Submit. Okay, there's my cover image, my character reference, pages, and 22 prompts. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all of that. I'm going to paste it into my Notepad document where I'm just kind of keeping things. And then I'm going to click the button to move on to the illustration generator. Now, just real quick before I jump into illustrating, I want to make a quick note here that I'm not using any of the upgraded features in this demonstration. And I just want to make that note so that you know that I'm only using features that are included in what we would call the front end base membership of AI Children's Book Maker 2500. And it's not that I wouldn't want to use the upgraded tools for this particular project. In fact, I would want to. Our base character generator and images from character tool is the best tool that we have for creating consistent recurring characters. But I just want to focus on what you can do with our standard illustration generator for this demonstration. In fact, I might not even use these other tools, which you do have access to in the main membership. You've got the character illustrator, the scene illustrator, the freestyle illustrator, and the image prompt assistant, which also has an image generator built in as well. We may end up using some of these just depending on how things go, but for the most part, I'm going to try to stick with the standard illustration generator and just work with that throughout this project. I absolutely will make additional demo videos to show and demonstrate how to use these other tools, and I will absolutely have an additional demonstration video showing how to use these upgraded illustration tools. So with that said, we'll jump back over to the illustration generator. So I'm going to start with the cover prompt, and I'm just going to be copying and pasting. And as I go, we'll see, we may have to tweak some of these prompts if we don't get quite what we want out of them, but we're going to try them pretty much as is and see how it goes. So paste in the character reference. So your character reference should have your character. It may have a secondary character. In this case, we do have a character named Sammy. The secondary character, essentially the sidekick. We've got some personality traits. We've got some consistent features and art style preferences. Now I can see that it gave me a cartoonish art style preference. I'm going to see how this looks. I may or may not decide to tweak that. And you know, in one of the other demonstrations, I did all square images. And then in another demonstration, I did all portrait images. So let's do wide images this time, just to show that we can do them all. So let me go ahead and click wide image. And yeah, this should be the cover, I believe. All right, and it's still generating, but I can see already that it is a very nice looking illustration. You know, I think Pierre needs to be a little older. You know, sometimes if you ask it to give you the title, it'll do a really good job of that. It'll do some really cool typography. Here, let me view this larger to kind of show you what I'm talking about. This typography is really cool, right? It fits the image, but it came out a little weird. Like, I don't know why it's got two S's, Pierre's and Stormy's. I don't know. So it's kind of weird like that. So I'm going to probably skip that. Yeah, maybe a little less cartoonish and a little more just standard children's book illustration style. And then I'll take out the part where it has the title. So here it says the title is playfully arced above them in colorful, whimsical lettering. I'm going to delete that line. And where it says middle-aged with short, curly black hair, I'm going to change that to say curly gray hair. And actually, I'm going to change middle-aged. I'm going to say around 60 years old. So where it says middle-aged, I'll just change that to 60-year-old. And for art style preferences, I'm going to change cartoonish to say children's book illustration, which will still make it probably somewhat cartoonish, but maybe just a little less cartoonish. All right, with those tweaks, I'm going to go ahead and click wide image to regenerate that illustration. And as I kind of look at this, the consistent features on Pierre, it doesn't say the color of his eyes. And so I maybe should add the color of his eyes just to make sure that that stays consistent. This is cute. I like it. The AI correctly rendered a hand with 4 fingers and 1 thumb. The wood spoon looks accurately placed. It's a beautiful scene. The cat almost looks more cartoonish than he does. And it looks like he's got brown eyes in that one. So let's just keep him having brown eyes. Let me go ahead and download this image. And I'm going to add the word brown to his descriptions. Twinkling brown eyes. And maybe I will regenerate that just to see if adding brown eyes made a difference. And just to see how much variation I'm getting while using the exact same prompt. All right, let's check this out. So now we've got the copyright page, title page, and we're jumping into the book. So far, so good. Okay. I like that I made that turtle sad. Or that I told the AI to make it sad. And he's still sad right there. And he's still sad. Now he's getting happy. And now he's free. Free at last, as the book says. There we go. Done. Approve. All right, so it's only $4.20 per book. Pretty amazing. We'll sell it everywhere. And now we can set it to any price. I'll set this one to $8.95. And sure, I'll do expanded distribution. Okay, so if I want to do expanded distribution, I have to go at least $10.50. So I'll make it $10.95. Why not? Everything costs more these days. Now, you know what? At that royalty rate on those expanded distributions, it's not even worth it. I'd rather have it below $10 and just keep it on Amazon only. I'll go $9.95. Final answer, $9.95 and no expanded distribution. And let's go ahead and publish it. And now we can also publish it as a Kindle ebook. So let's go ahead and click Start Your ebook. So this is nice because the initial details are already filled in. We'll click Save and Continue. Oh, we do need to choose the categories though. We'll go children's ebooks, geography and cultures, travel, fiction. Let's add another category. Children's ebooks, animals, cats, fiction. One more. Children's ebooks, science, nature, and how it works, environment and ecology, fiction. Save categories. Save and continue. And congratulations, it says. Your Kindle ebook has been submitted. Now, as soon as this is done being in review, which as it says typically happens within 72 hours, it will say published, and under actions, it will give me the option to order author copies, which allows you to order them at cost. Which again, for this book, I believe it said it was $4.50. So fantastic price for a full square-sized premium color children's book. I'll order that. I'll have it in a few days, and I'll read it to my kids. Meanwhile, Amazon's going to publish it to their marketplace. Other people can buy it, and I can earn royalties. So there you go. That was a full walkthrough from starting with my idea on this click me button right here, all the way through every step, not hiding anything, all the way through to actually publishing my book. If you've watched the other demos, you can see that it can be done a whole lot quicker than that, in fact. But if you're like me and you have, perhaps an idea or a topic that you really care about, and you're going to be maybe a little picky with your images like I was, it's going to take you a little while. And that's okay. It's still a massive shortcut, and this is something that is allowing your dreams to become a reality. So, have patience, have fun with it. Start with your idea if you have an idea, and see it through to completion. And just a quick follow-up here. It's been less than 24 hours, and the Kindle book is live. Actually, the Kindle ebook was live within about an hour, and the paperback is now live as well. So you can see here next to the paperback, I can order author copies. And so to do that, you can order as few as one, which is just amazing. Order it from Amazon.com, add to cart. And I thought it was $4.50. It's actually only $4.20. $4.20 for me to buy my own children's book in full premium color. That's just awesome. I'm going to order it now. It says usually ships within 10 days. My experience in the past is that I usually get it quite a bit quicker than that. Who knows? Maybe they're backed up right now. But still, even if it's 10 days, that is awesome. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this masterclass in how to use AI Children's Bookmaker 2500 to create your own customized storybook, your own picture book based on your own idea, and really using this tool to the best of its ability to create illustrations that you're happy with, that you love, and that create a high quality picture book. Be sure to send us, some testimonials and pictures of you holding your own books and stuff, because we'd love to see those. All right. Thanks for watching this. Take care. In this demonstration, we're going to take a look at the step-by-step book generator. Now, if you're starting a brand new project from scratch, a brand new book, and you have previously used these tools to create a different book, one thing you might want to do is go to the Tools drop-down and select Clear All History. And what that will do is just clear the local storage, anything that's kind of been saved in the forms and in the tools that you've been using. Otherwise, you can clear them one at a time as you go through the process, but by clearing them all at once, it might just save a little bit of time. And it's also nice to have that information saved if you're working on a project and you want to go back and work on it again later. But if you're starting a new project from scratch, that's what I would do. So we're starting a new book here, step-by-step book generator, and we will start with the idea generator. All we have to do is click the blue button to generate some random ideas. And it gives me 10 book ideas in a variety of ages and topics. So let me just take a moment to see if I like any of these ones. Let's see, 3 to 5 year old, curious little cloud travels across the sky. 4 to 6 year old, young inventor. I always like sciencey stuff. 5 to 7 years, gentle dragon. Dragons are cool. 3 to 5 years, little seed. A shy raccoon. That sounds neat. A curious girl travels to different cultures. I always like travel and culture books too. Here's one about a time-traveling bear. Ooh, different historical periods. That could be fun. Famous figures, learning about their contributions. A playful puppy. A young boy befriends a robot from outer space. A group of friends creates a community garden. Now, of course, if you don't like any of these, you can simply click the trash can icon and click the blue button to generate a new set of 10 ideas. I think I'm going to go with this idea right here, the young inventor creating gadgets to solve everyday problems in a whimsical town. By the way, we could save this entire set simply by clicking the download button to download it as a text file or saving it to a new project in our project library. Since I know which one I'm going to go with, I'm going to simply copy and paste that one particular book idea into my notepad on my computer. In the previous demo that I made for the quick book generator, the main character was a squirrel, so I think it'd be nice to use a young boy or girl as our next main character to demonstrate what our illustration tools can do. Once you've saved the idea you want to use, go ahead and click Title Generator. And I'm going to paste that book idea that I just copied to my clipboard and click the blue button to generate some title ideas. And as you can see, we've got unique titles, whimsical titles, adventurous titles, educational titles. Let me scan through these here for just a moment. I like the Whiz Kids Wacky Wonders. I like the Curious Contraptions of Cody Clank. I just think that's a nice, catchy name, and I like the alliteration of Curious Contraptions Cody Clank. I similarly like the inventive imagination of Izzy Inkwell. So if I wanted a boy character, I think it'd be Cody Clank. A girl would be Izzy Inkwell. Lots of good options here. I do like adventurous titles, and this book definitely has the potential to be educational as well. You know, a lesson like how to fix a flop, lessons from a young inventor, would be great. You know, overcoming adversity is one of the greatest lessons you can learn in life. But overall, I think I really like the Curious Contraptions of Cody Clank. I could see that becoming a whole book series and maybe even a movie someday. So I'm going to copy that to my clipboard and move on. And in fact, before moving on, we do have an optional book title search available here to see if there is an existing book out there with that title. So let's search for the Curious Contraptions of Cody Clank. Great title choice. It is indeed already in use as a middle grade novel. Interesting. It's interesting because I have not run into that before. Typically the AI comes up with very unique titles that are not already in use. Now, just because it came up with this doesn't mean it was, intentionally plagiarizing, nor does it mean that you couldn't actually use this title. While you can copyright the content of a book, typically a title can be reused, although something as specific as the Curious Contraption of Cody Clank I wouldn't recommend reusing. And the other thing that we could do is jump over to Google and see, because sometimes the AI also has an imaginary memory. It thinks that something's real even if it isn't. Maybe because it created that book title for us, it thinks that book title is real. So Googling it in quotes, there is no Curious Contraptions of Cody Clank. So the interesting thing is that seems to be a made-up memory by the AI on this part. So I am good to use it. I'm going to go ahead and use that title. All right, let's move on to the title page generator. Paste in the title, and I'm going to put my own name on this because it's going to be a cool book. Title page is obviously pretty simple. You can either download that, copy it to your document, however you want to save it. Just save it one way or another. Now we can choose between continuing either as a board book or a picture book. Chapter books are part of our upgrade package, which we'll do a separate demonstration for. Board books are for the youngest children, really for babies, and then picture books are for just young children. So let's go with picture books. And we'll go ahead and paste in the title that was generated for us. And then we're going to paste in the idea that we generated with the idea generator. And of course, you can make changes to this. If you want to tweak the title and come up with your own title, you can, or to modify one of these, or if you want to make any modifications to the book idea that was generated, you totally can. You can customize and modify any of this. And for the tone of the writing, let's go with, let's see, we have a choice of playful, reassuring, cheerful, curious, gentle. Let's go with curious. And the writing style will be typical children's book. And because this is a demonstration, I'm going to keep this one especially short. Maybe we'll go with just 12 pages. We can do about 35 pages max at a time. It tends to do real well in about that 18 to 20 page range. And keep in mind, 35 pages of text can be 70 pages in a children's book if you're alternating text pages and illustration pages, which is what many children's books do. So in this case, maybe I'll do 12 pages of text, 12 illustrations, and it'll be a 24-page book. And click the blue button, and we'll let the AI write a story for us. And wow, that sure was fast. We can download it as a text file. We can save it to a project. Let's go ahead and save it to a project just so you can see. If I click Save It as a new project, it's going to automatically save it as new book idea along with today's date. And I can go into my project library and change that project name later on if I want to. I'm also going to copy this to my clipboard and simply paste it into the notepad on my computer. Now from here we can actually go and rewrite any portion of this. Say there's a page that we don't like, we could go rewrite the page. If there's a section, we could rewrite the section. We could even rewrite the entire book. For now, this looks decent. And again, it's just a demonstration, so let's continue on to the copyright generator. We'll put in the author name. If you want to have a web address, you can do that. If you've got an ISBN number, you can enter that and click the Generate button. I'm going to go ahead and copy that into my document and continue to the back cover generator. Once again, I'm going to use the generated idea and press Generate. Oh, I forgot to put in our title. So I'm going to add my title to the top of that and regenerate. Otherwise, it's going to make up a new title. Perfect. Copy this and we'll use it on our back cover. It's basically a little sales pitch for parents. And we'll move on to the illustration prompts. And I'm going to paste in my entire book and click Submit. And it should give us 12 pages worth of illustration prompts plus a cover. And there we go. That's exactly what it gave us. I'm going to go ahead and copy this to my clipboard, paste it into my notepad, and we will move on to the illustration generator. The first prompt is generally going to be your cover prompt, and it is. And then we're going to insert the character reference that was generated for us, which often will include an art style preference. And if your story involves multiple characters or like a sidekick, it'll have a character reference for them as well. As you may have seen in my demonstration of the quick book generator, creating square images is a real simple way to format a book because you can drop those square images into a regular portrait-oriented, 8.5 by 11 document, and you'll have room either above or below those images for your text. But since we already did that on the previous demonstration, let's go ahead and do something different this time. Let's go with portrait-sized images, or portrait-formatted images. Oh wow, that's a really neat looking illustration. I'm going to go ahead and download that. I hope it can create Cody Clank consistently because that's a cool looking character. Let's go ahead and download that cover image, and I'm going to move on to page 1. If you watched my previous demonstration, you'll know that we'll leave the character reference exactly as is to help the AI know that we want to keep that consistent, but we'll change the image prompt each time. And I'll go with another portrait image. This is a good one. Let's go ahead and download that and move on to the next one. As I'm just sort of scanning ahead through this book, I noticed that I think Mrs. Puckle is a recurring character. So we may need a character reference for her. Let's see, Mr. Boggle. Yeah, so there's Mrs. Puckle and Mr. Boggle who appear a couple of times. There's also Lily. She only appears once. So I'm going to add Mrs. Puckle to the character reference for this one. All right, let's see if this is descriptive enough. I'm just going to say Mrs. Puckle is a 50-year-old gardener with a slightly overweight body. She is wearing a blue and green plaid shirt and blue jeans. She has curly brown hair and blue eyes. Let's try that. And portrait image. All right. Well, it certainly kind of nailed it in a way. The only thing I don't like about this illustration is that Cody Clank is staring straight ahead like he's just totally dazed. It's not a bad illustration. I'm going to save it. I mean, young kids aren't going to care all that much, but let's go ahead and make it one more time and see if we can get a better one. Ah, there it is. I like that. Let's go ahead and download that. So let's move on to page 3, portrait. All right, this one looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and download that image. Moving on to page 4, we introduce Mr. Boggle. So we're going to bring him down into the character reference as well. I'm going to actually replace Mrs. Puckle with Mr. Boggle. And we'll give this one a try. Alright, let's see. There's Mr. Boggle, Super Grocery. Only thing wrong is the words. Oh, let's see. What I might just tweak is instead of calling it the Super Grocery Lifter 3000 in this prompt, let's just call it the Grocery Lifter Robot, so it's more descriptive and less like a specific title, and see if that solves the issue. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, that is quite the Grocery Lifter Robot, and it looks like it doesn't even show Mr. Boggle in this particular illustration, which is fine because that means whatever he looks like in the next illustration should work. And now it's a PDF ebook ready to distribute. And I'll show you in another demonstration how we can easily and quickly upload our ebooks to a platform like Amazon for distribution. And as you can see, really nice character that we created in these illustrations. And it didn't take us all that long considering the high quality of what we just created.